Alright, so you're struggling with women, huh? Let me guess, maybe you're doing everything right, but you still can't seem to crack the code. You're putting in the effort, but you're still invisible to the girls who catch your eye. Here's the truth. Most guys are getting it wrong, and it's time you knew why. It's not about how many push-ups you can do or how clean your beard is. It's about the raw psychology and science behind attraction. Look, life doesn't give you a pass, and neither will I. If you're not getting the attention you want from women, it's not because you're missing out on some secret formula. It's because you're not tapping into the deeper truths that control how people see you. And here's where it gets real. The truth isn't pretty, but it will set you free. I'm about to reveal the same principles that can take you from invisible to the guy they can't stop thinking about. We're talking about hard truths rooted in science, backed by psychology, and even pulling from the ancient wisdom of the Stoics. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions, our mindset, and how we respond to others. But let's take it further. It's not just about control. It's about understanding the subtle forces that shape attraction, that determine who rises to the top and who gets left behind. This is where men are separated from boys. So buckle up, because I'm about to turn you into a version of yourself that no one can ignore. Hey, this is James. I'm here to help you develop a stoic mindset to master your relationships with women and take control of your dating life. If you're ready to level up, hit that subscribe button now. Let's dive in. Lesson 1, the scarcity principle. All right, let's get real. I'm about to hit you with a brutal truth that will change the way you approach women forever. If you're struggling to get their attention, here's the psychological weapon you've been missing: the scarcity principle. Dr. Robert Cialdini, a legendary psychologist, discovered something pretty mind-blowing. We value things more when they're hard to get. That's why billionaires will drive a slow, ugly car that's one of a kind instead of a fast, flashy one everyone else can buy. It's not about how fast it is, it's about how rare it is. And guess what? The same rule applies to dating. You've heard the phrase, nice guys finish last, right? It's not because women hate nice guys, it's because nice guys are too available. They chase, they beg, they try too hard. It's like a store with a 90% off sign. It's cheap, easy, and not special. Women don't want that. Meanwhile, the bad boys who act indifferent, they create scarcity. They seem like a challenge, which automatically makes them more desirable. But here's the catch. You don't have to be a jerk to create scarcity. A genuinely nice guy who knows how to signal scarcity is more attractive than any bad boy. It's all about strategy. Let me break it down for you. Imagine you're at a party. You spot a girl surrounded by a bunch of guys who are all thirsty for her attention. You might think, well, I'm screwed. Wrong. This is where you have the edge. Here's what you do. Casually walk past her group. Make eye contact. Give her a quick, confident hey, and keep moving. Then go talk to a friend, preferably a girl. Bonus points. Don't linger. Don't try too hard. You've just made her curious. You've become the exclusive, limited edition. While the other guys are begging for her attention, you've got her wondering, who was that guy? Why did he just walk away? What does he know that I don't? Boom. Now you've flipped the script. You're no longer the guy chasing her, she's the one chasing you. That's the power of scarcity. The key here is simple. Don't overdo it. Stop texting her non-stop or calling her every second. Be busy. Be unavailable. Let her wonder if she's missing out. That's when you'll truly become irresistible. It's not manipulation, it's human psychology. And yes, there's a hint of Stoicism in this too. Stoicism teaches us to control what we can and accept what we can't. The key here? You can't control whether she likes you, but you can control how much she sees of you. When you don't chase, when you don't beg for her validation, you become valuable. So remember this. Stop chasing, start living your own life. And when you do, women will chase you. Lesson 2, the gain-loss theory. Let's talk about a psychological trick that can take your attraction game to a whole new level. Building off the scarcity principle, we've got another heavy hitter, the gain-loss theory of attraction. And trust me, this will finally explain why nice guys, no matter how well-intentioned, often get overlooked. Let me paint the picture for you. There was this clever experiment where college students met an experimenter multiple times. After their interactions, the students would accidentally overhear the experimenter talking about them. But here's the kicker. The feedback they overheard wasn't just one thing. It came in 4 categories. 1. All positive. Oh yeah, they're awesome. 2. All negative. Ugh, they suck. 3. Negative at first, but then positive. At first I wasn't sure about them, but now they've really grown on me. 4. Positive at first, but then negative. They seemed cool at first, but now, not so much. Now, when the students were asked how much they liked the experimenter, the expected results were pretty predictable. They liked them the most when the feedback was all positive. But here's the surprise. They actually liked the experimenter even more when the feedback started out negative, but shifted to positive. Now, why is that? Why would we prefer being liked after a rough start over being liked right from the get-go? It's because deep down we love the challenge. Winning someone over who initially doesn't like us feels rewarding. It's like leveling up in a video game or unlocking a hidden achievement. Suddenly we feel special, like we've earned something that others can't have. This is the heart of the gain-loss theory. But hold on. Before you start trying to be an asshole to create this bad-to-good transition, let's slow down and think. Don't be an idiot. Giving a bad impression on purpose is a terrible strategy, and I'm not here to tell you to act like a jerk to get attention. What I'm saying is that you can use this principle subtly and intelligently. You don't need to outright dislike her at first. Instead, use small, subtle cues to show that you weren't convinced from the beginning. Maybe it's your tone. Maybe it's the way you're not overly eager. Just enough to let her know she still has to earn your approval. And here's the key. Make sure she knows when she's won you over. If she thinks you still don't like her, she won't put in the effort, and all that work will go to waste. Let her feel that sense of victory. This doesn't mean you're being cruel, but it does mean you're playing the game right. You're making her work for your attention. And that's what drives attraction. Now, how does this relate to Stoicism? Well, in Stoic philosophy, we learn that we must control what we can and accept what we can't. With this concept, the game is the part we can't control. The attraction, the chemistry, it's a force outside our direct control. But what we can control is how we show up. We control how we behave, how we act, and what signals we give off. That's your power. It's your choice whether to approach situations like an eager puppy or like a calm, composed force who knows his value. Stoicism teaches us to embrace challenges, to grow through resistance, and to take joy in overcoming obstacles. With the gain-loss theory, when you present yourself as a bit of a challenge, when you don't just give away your affection, you let the other person earn your validation. And let's be real, people value things they have to earn. So, to recap, don't be fake, don't play games for the sake of games, but do let her know you're not a pushover. Make her feel like she's working for your attention. Let her have that moment where she wins you over. That's where real attraction lies. Lesson 3. Proximity. Back in Lesson 1, I taught you about the power of scarcity. The more scarce you are, the more attractive you become. But here's the thing most guys miss. It's not about being scarce with your physical presence, it's about being scarce with your attention. You want to create distance emotionally, not physically. And if you're smart, you'll use proximity to your advantage. Let's break it down. There's a study you need to hear about. It's one of those classic psychological studies, and it proves a point that most guys overlook. Researchers at MIT asked nearly 300 college students to list their closest friends. Then, they checked where these friends lived in the dorms. The results? If someone lived just one door away, there was a 41% chance they were considered a close friend. If they lived 4 doors away, that chance dropped to just 10%. Translation: Proximity matters. Physical closeness breeds connection, and the more time you spend around someone, the higher your chances are of becoming their go-to person. This isn't just about geography, it's about frequency. Here's a real-world example. You have a much better shot with a girl you see for 10 minutes every day than the girl you hang out with for an hour once a week. Why? Because consistent proximity builds familiarity, trust, and attraction. Those little interactions matter, more than you probably realize. Now let's say you're thinking, well, what if I don't have good proximity? What if I don't see her every day? Simple. You create it. But I'm not telling you to be a creepy stalker, so hear me out. You've got to be strategic, subtle but effective. Here's what you can do. Change your route so you naturally pass by her. Don't make it obvious. Just cross paths as if it's a happy coincidence. Join a club she's in. Don't force yourself into her space. Just make yourself available in the same areas she frequents. Find ways to be in the same places as her without her realizing you're always around. The goal here is to create moments of overlap, not to stalk her like some desperate weirdo. And listen, there's a fine line here. Do not cross it. If you start making her feel uncomfortable, you've just sabotaged everything. You're creating proximity, not invading her space. Let's bring in the Stoic perspective here for a minute. You might think that proximity means putting yourself in positions where you can manipulate every outcome. But remember what Stoicism teaches. Accept what you can't control and focus on what you can. You can't control who's attracted to you or when someone will start paying attention. What you can control is your intent and your ability to move through life with purpose. Think of it this way. Stoics knew the value of deliberate action. They didn't waste their time chasing things they couldn't control, but they made the most of the situations they could influence. By placing yourself strategically, by creating opportunities for proximity, you're doing the same thing. You're not desperate. You're simply aligning yourself with the right moments, creating the best circumstances where attraction has the chance to grow. Now, let's say you've got that proximity on lock. You've been subtly positioning yourself in the right places, and you've started making a real impression. You're not just a random guy anymore. You've become the guy. The next step, keeping her interested. And that's a whole new level of strategy, but we're not there yet. Stay tuned. All right, quick favor. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "I control my outcome." I want to hear what's holding you back from becoming the guy who attracts the right attention. Let's get this conversation going. Lesson 4, the Ben Franklin effect. All right, brace yourself because this one may hit you like a slap in the face. If you want people to like you, especially women, there's a simple trick that's so counterintuitive it feels almost wrong. Ask them for favors. Yes, you heard me right. Ask for help. You're probably thinking, what the hell? That's the quickest way to make someone think you're a needy loser. But hold up. Science tells a very different story. Let me take you back to 1971, to a study at the University of North Carolina. The researchers were testing a basic memory game, and they did something very clever. They split the participants into two groups. In one group, the students were encouraged when they got answers right. In the other group, they were criticized when they made mistakes. Seems pretty straightforward, right? But then came the twist. After the game, the volunteers were asked to rate how attractive and likable the students were. And guess what? The students who got encouraged were rated way more attractive than the ones who got criticized. You would think that criticism would drive people away, but no. Praise and encouragement made them more attractive. So what's the big takeaway here? When we do something nice for someone, we automatically start to like them more, even if we didn't feel much of anything for them before. It's called the Ben Franklin effect, and it's the reason why you should absolutely be asking for small favors from the women you want to attract. Think about it. You're not just trying to be nice. You're giving her a reason to invest in you. When someone does something for you, they subconsciously start to feel more connected to you. It's a weird little psychological hack that works. And the best part? It's dead simple. How do you use this? Easy. You start small, and you ask for things that don't really matter. You've got to be subtle about it though. Don't go asking for big favors that'll make you seem desperate or unworthy. You've got to create situations where she feels like she's helping you. Here's how you do it. Ask for the time. It's harmless, quick, and gives her the chance to help. Accidentally drop your pencil. Yeah, I know it sounds cheesy, but this works. She'll bend down to pick it up, and the moment you make eye contact, the connection begins. Ask for help with something small. Could be anything. Hey, do you know where the nearest coffee shop is? Or, mind giving me a hand with this? Even if you don't really need help, just create that small moment. Sounds ridiculously simple, right? But here's the thing, it works. It's like planting a tiny seed in her mind that she's invested in you. And once that happens, you start to shift from being a random guy she might forget to someone she subconsciously feels connected to. Now let's talk Stoicism for a second, because this ties into the bigger picture. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius or Seneca didn't spend their time begging for favors, but they did understand the power of human relationships. They knew the value of giving and receiving help in a way that didn't create dependence, but rather mutual respect. The Stoic approach isn't about manipulation, it's about understanding human nature and playing it to your advantage. You're not trying to trick anyone. The truth is, when you give someone the opportunity to help you, you're respecting their ability to make an impact, and you're building rapport in a way that feels natural and unforced. The Stoics also understood detachment, which means you're not obsessing over the results of these small interactions. You're not waiting around for her to like you just because you asked her for a favor. You're simply putting yourself in a position where you've done the work and allowed the relationship to grow organically. That's the power of Stoic patience in action. But let's not get too comfortable, because this next lesson will show you why even this simple trick won't be enough if you're ignoring a crucial truth. Stay tuned. Lesson 5. The Discord Mod Effect. You've been fed a lie your whole life. They told you, looks don't matter, just be yourself. But reality doesn't care about your feelings. Women judge you the second they see you, long before you even open your mouth. And no, this isn't about being born with perfect features. It's about how you present yourself. Back in 1997, researchers Morian and Bloom conducted a study on what makes people attractive. They showed 117 college students 76 photos of the opposite sex and asked them to rate attractiveness and emotional response. The results? It wasn't genetics that determined attractiveness. It was effort. The highest-rated individuals had 5 key things in common: good posture, standing tall, signals confidence and strength; neat grooming, a clean haircut, well-kept beard and fresh skin; well-fitting clothes, not expensive, just properly sized; a positive attitude, not forced smiles, but a strong, composed presence; a healthy weight, no six-pack required, just not overweight or frail. The cold truth? Women see you before they hear you. You could have the best personality in the world, but if you look like a stereotypical Discord mod, slouched, greasy hair, oversized hoodie, she's not even going to acknowledge you. And that's just how it is. Your appearance is your first impression, and it instantly tells the world whether you're someone worth respecting or someone who's given up. Ever heard women talk about a man's vibe? That's just their way of describing your presence. And your presence is built on how you carry yourself. Stoicism isn't about ignoring reality. It's about mastering what you can control. Marcus Aurelius didn't sit around complaining about unfairness. He focused on discipline, resilience, and commanding respect. You don't need perfect genetics, but you do need to maximize what you've got. Stand tall. Good posture alone makes you look more powerful. Get a solid haircut. A sharp appearance demands attention. Wear fitted clothes. Instantly improves your body language. Walk with purpose. A man with direction is always more attractive. You can complain about life's unfairness, or you can do what high-value men have always done: adapt and win. And if you think appearance is all that matters, you're in for a brutal wake-up call in the next lesson. Stay tuned. Lesson 6. Luck. Believe it or not, attraction isn't just about confidence, game, or even looks. Sometimes it all comes down to pure biology. things completely out of your control. Let's switch gears for a second and talk about something most men never think about: neurobiology. There are two hidden forces that can override everything else when it comes to attraction. And the worst part? You won't even see them coming. 1. Your nose knows. Your nose isn't just there to smell food. It's constantly picking up on hidden chemical signals from other people, known as pheromones. These aren't some mystical love potions, but they do carry genetic information that can trigger emotional and physical responses. Here's where it gets interesting. Women's noses are wired differently. While men can pick up on pheromones, women have an extra layer of sensitivity to something called MHC molecules, which are directly linked to immune system strength. Why does this matter? Studies show that women are naturally drawn to the scent of men with MHC molecules different from theirs. This is because genetic diversity in immunity means stronger, healthier offspring. The brutal truth? If your MHC is too similar to hers, you could be the perfect man on paper, but she still won't feel that spark. And guess what? There's nothing you can do about it. 2. The first kiss. If you think a first kiss is just a romantic milestone, you're dead wrong. It's a biological test, one that can make or break your chances instantly. When you kiss, your body exchanges subtle chemical and physical signals. These include the taste of your mouth, which carries info about your overall health, the smell of your breath, which can unconsciously signal genetic compatibility. And here's the kicker. Women are wired to make snap judgments from this moment alone. In fact, many report instantly losing interest if the first kiss feels off. But if it goes well, that's when the magic happens. The brain floods with norepinephrine, triggering the fight or flight response. This makes the heart race, pupils dilate, and energy levels spike, literally making her feel high around you. Look, you can't control your MHC molecules. You can't rewire a woman's instincts, but you can control how you react to it. Marcus Aurelius didn't whine about things beyond his control. He focused on what he could master. And that's exactly what you should do. What does this mean? Maximize everything in your power. Keep your grooming, hygiene, and breath on point. Nail the first impression, because biology won't give you a second chance. Accept that sometimes it's just bad luck, and move on without attachment. You won't win over every woman, but the ones who are drawn to you, they'll feel it in their bones. All right, you've got the brutal truth to make yourself irresistible to women. But if you want to take it a step further and know exactly how to make her crazy about you, check out the video on your screen right now. 6 questions that will make a woman crazy about you. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Click and let's keep leveling up. Oh, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more eye-opening topics like this. Thanks for watching.